Welcome back to The Betrayed. I'm Gina Beck.
This is Drew Williams.
Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I appreciate y'all, especially the reviews on Apple Podcasts. It really means a lot.
Yeah, and thank you guys again, like always, for the continued engagement on all the comment sections on the videos and everything, and hashtagging Banana Cats. Thank you guys.
Yeah, if you have a story and you want it to be told, make sure you go to the description and click on one of the links, message us, and we'll get back to you.
Absolutely.
How are you, Drew?
I'm doing all right, G. How are you?
I'm all right. We planned on live streaming our reaction to watching Cuties on Netflix, and it just didn't go the way that we kind of hoped and planned. So we hopped off the live stream and just watched it ourselves. So we just wanted to give you guys our reaction and what we thought of it. So you don't have to go watch it, or maybe you agree with us or disagree with us, and you can let us know in the comments.
Yeah, it didn't go well. It didn't. My computer is just not capable of doing that yet. I got to get something different to be able to do that. We'll figure something else out down the line.
So what was your first impression watching Cuties on Netflix?
I completely understand why people are upset. It's also really fucking boring.
Yeah.
It
For sure. It makes me it was just like, okay, all right, what's next? Okay, I'm tired. This is really boring for sure. But then the parts that were surprising, it definitely was it was like, why? Like, what? This doesn't even make sense.
Let's
Like,
be.
why is this happening?
It's softcore CP. It 100% is. Like, there's straight up scenes from that I guarantee are already being passed around circles. It's. I don't want to like badmouth the director, but it's really hard not to, because there's just so many scenes in that movie that just. Why did that need to be even part of any of it? Like
Mm-hmm.
the whole water ceremony thing where she's like being possessed and dancing, that entire part could have been
Mm-hmm.
cut out.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Like, what did that have to do with anything? Why did she have to move like that? Come on.
There's like, and this is the thing, is like, I think that they were really, honestly, there's points in the movie that I'm like, oh, I can kind of see where you guys were trying to go with this, because they are bringing up the fact that like kids are being sexualized younger and younger all the time. But then they like completely
Mm-hmm.
just they like hint at it and then they just drop it and move on to another subject. Just like the when one of the girls puts
Mm-hmm.
like a dirty condom in her mouth. They don't even like they just have that in there. They have a scene of them not properly taking care of what should happen if your friend puts a used condom in their mouth. They just what do they brush the tongue and stuff like that. It just there's so many things in that movie
Mm-hmm.
that like on top of being softcore porno that is just like, why did you guys do this?
Yeah, like it showed things with barely any context and without teaching. Like if they wanted to say, "Oh, we made this movie for awareness, for teaching." No, you didn't, because I didn't learn a thing except for this is like what kids are doing these days. It makes me question what kids are doing these days, which I don't think that this is, but I think that there are, like, of course, children who, are going to go down that direction, whether a parent can help it or not. But it's not, I don't think, like, very common, but it can happen. It definitely, it can happen. But this movie is not awareness. It's not teaching you, okay, what if my friend puts a condom in their mouth, like you said? What do you do? It didn't show you what you do. You don't go to a bathroom and brush your tongue, but it didn't like say, it didn't show them getting caught. It didn't show them having a parent's perspective. It only shows the kid's perspective. So it does. There's no teaching there. That's just a situation, not anything to be taught. It just in the WAP dancing also, it's like was
Like
a very popular trend, right? A bunch of kids all ages were doing that on TikTok. But imagine being the director and telling you saw those close-up shots of those girls and telling those girls, "Okay, put your finger in your mouth." And be how did he do it? How did he tell those girls to do
oh, it was a
those
woman.
scenes?
It's a
Who
woman.
told those?
It was a woman.
Okay, it was a woman. Okay,
Yeah.
but still, like, imagine in a production, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just the woman behind
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
camera. There's
Absolutely.
tons of people. There's
Yeah. There was
tons
like
of people on a production set. So just be like, I want to know, like, okay, put your finger in your mouth now, sweetie. Like, oh, like, be sexy. Like, I don't know, how do you tell a kid to look the
so,
way that those kids were
and like this
looking?
is the other thing
You
too that I
know,
don't understand is France is one of the few countries in the world that has actually banned beauty pageants. But do dance pageants not count? Like to me it just seemed like I'm just very confused on like how this movie came from France where they actually like know that beauty pageants sexualize children and then there's this movie and it's just like this is
right?
you
Yeah.
I mean like these weren't even these are actual kid actors like there's kid actors through almost the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Prior to watching this, you and I had a conversation on the phone, and I had strong opinions because I thought maybe it wouldn't be as bad as people are saying it is, right? It was my opinion at first before I watched it. Something that I had mentioned to you is girls, boys of all ages, even as young as these girls and younger, are doing these dances behind closed doors without a camera. They're doing them, whether
Well, and
we
I
want to believe it or not. These hip hop, R&B, ballet, beauty pageant things, all sorts of things happen in America because it's not banned here. But these hip hop dances specifically, I know kids that take these classes. I'm not saying they do the WAP. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that they do dances where it could be displayed as provocative. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is something that people in these classes have normalized and have been teaching for some time. And I think it's all about the parent. It's all about what you as a parent are choosing to let your kid do and not do. And are you there at these classes while they're doing them? That's another question. 24/7. Like, if I was to put my kid in a class, I wouldn't leave the building. I would be there. That's my mindset in today's day and age. I can see, like, years ago where you just drop them off, leave, you go do what you got to do for an hour. Yes, I'm free for an hour. Okay, my kid's having fun. Come back, pick them up, have dinner, go to bed. No, now, no. I would never even think to do that now. I'd be there the whole time.
yeah, and I bet you still
Just so my kid is not being taught the WAP. My kid won't be taught the
I don't there's just
WAP.
so many things in that movie that like I don't know who that movie was for besides the word that we're not supposed to say on YouTube,
So,
but this is getting demonetized no matter what we do. So like The Predator, it's supposed to be for chomos. Like it straight up just feels like a movie like what can we make for Netflix that will like appease our not that it was like I want to actually take that back. The movie was not made by Netflix. The movie was distributed here in the US by Netflix, but it was made in France and produced and funded by French production teams. So, but what was the who was
so
it
I
for?
think that, well, I looked it up and what they had said, and what they say is that it's showing how kids, can be peer pressured into things even though they don't want to do it. It's about an 11-year-old girl who sees these other girls doing these things and it looks fun. Da da da. She wants to, be accepted. So she does these things with them, but then she realizes she just wants to be a normal 11-year-old girl. And that's when she leaves at the end and ends up not crying and then doing jump rope. But if that was their, like I said just prior, if their point was to do awareness and to be teaching something, a realization at the end of the movie is not enough for
Wasn't
us
even a
to
clear
be like,
realization. It was
no. it wasn't, there's barely any context. There's no context. There's no talking. The girl barely even talked throughout the whole movie. She was a mute
Yeah,
half
I
the
keep
time.
people saying, hear people saying like it gets lost in translation. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's not much there to begin with to get lost in translation, and half the other movies in Songhalese or whatever. So I mean, like, how many people speak French and Songhalese besides someone from that demographic there? You know,
The movie could have been a an amazing an amazing way to be for parents, if not kids, but at least parents, to teach them. I think it could be amazing if they would just took some things out, added more context, and added more of the mother and add more of the father and more of,
yeah,
showing the family dynamic, because how a kid, I feel like, makes their decisions is, especially like at 11, is definitely based on your parents and how you're being raised at that time. I mean, either the kid is going to listen and do what they're supposed to, or rebel and do the opposite, right? And it showed her doing both. So I think if it showed more of them and more of the family dynamic and more context behind all of these little situations that happened, or take these situations out and make the situations a little more realistic, I think it could be amazing. Like, if they were trying to go for that, they missed what they, the whole,
yeah.
they
I'm
just
willing to
missed
give them the
everything.
benefit of the doubt and say that they honestly made it with like not malicious intent, but at the same time, like, how did you get into the edit room and watch this and go, "Yep, this is what we're releasing"?
Like you said, it's a different country. I think maybe their mindset wasn't, you know when when you're in a project. I mean, I'm not sticking up or making excuses for anybody, because I don't freaking know. But I mean, if you're hands on in a project and you're getting paid, you're going to do what you're getting paid to do. At the same time, as an editor, you're not a director, you're not a producer, you don't have that choice. You're taking the paycheck, or no, you're not.
Well, I mean that's what
You know
I
what
mean that's what creeps me out about the director. I mean that she's the one that has her name all over. I'm not gonna like destroy her name because it's very French. Like I don't know how to say it at all. I've looked at it a few times. I don't know how to say it. I'm not gonna attempt it. But how did she watch that and go, "Yep, that's my movie"? Like I don't know how you as a woman with children, like how you could just make this. I don't know.
I
It's
think
so.
someone I can see why, but I think I do disagree with it. I don't like it. I think it shouldn't have been put out, but I do see where they were going. And I see the times today. TikTok, okay? I mean, you spend 2 minutes on that app, you see people of all ages doing all sorts of different things. It's a very
And that's like
everything is on there.
I think that
Literally
movie had a
everything.
chance to
So,
bring that up, and that's what I think. Like, it's great that you're bringing that up. Is there is things in this movie that are worthy subjects, like the over sexualization of younger children. I mean, if there's like you said, I honestly didn't know that there's 11-year-olds doing shit like that on fucking TikTok. It's terrifying, but like that's what. How about okay? Be angry about the movie, but let's bring the conversation back onto something that's like way more important. The movie's out; it's done its fucking damage. If if there's a ton of kids on TikTok doing this, no wonder predators are swarming there. It's just a cesspool for it.
yeah. And it can be avoided by a parent not letting them be on TikTok, or TikTok not existing, of course, but
But I don't think either
like the
of those. Like,
girl,
I think you have to like be more realistic about it. I mean, you can't like we always bring up. The more you like,
isn't it supposed to be banned though? Isn't it? I don't know.
I
Isn't
don't
it?
really know because
And like,
the TikTok is foreign owned, so I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it operates in the U.S., but I mean, it kind of chooses what it wants to
I don't know.
do. And if your kids are uploading a bunch of those things, like I don't know, you install Custodio. Like, why don't? I mean, I don't have kids, so like I don't want to sit here and tell people how to raise your kids, but that's really scary if that's all
Well,
over that.
a little back, what we were just talking about is, say you're in a director's shoes, right? and you have the intent to show a movie and shed light on all sorts of different situations that could or has happened in real life. Maybe things like this has happened and this woman knows of these stories. Or maybe she's just, saying it could happen. But as a director, about TikTok. You know about these hip hop classes that are going behind closed doors that none of us see unless you are the parent of the child taking them there and you're watching it be done, or you're the teacher of the class or the child yourself, right? There's things that go on. I'm not saying all hip hop classes. If you're a hip hop teacher, don't come at me. But or a hip hop dance teacher, don't come at me. But I do know for a fact, especially in a small town I won't name, where hip hop dances look just like what's in this movie, besides the WAP, because the WAP is very new. But then you take like I said, TikTok, the hip hop dancing, beauty pageants, like you just take all of these things that surround children. The director was just trying to maybe shed light. But like I said, she just did a horrible job. And I think that if she wanted to do a good job, she would have done a lot more of these situations with context surrounded around it. Period. That's it.
And they have a
Like
lot of serious
everything needs
things,
context.
and with no context. Like, cause she takes a picture of her genital area, like they don't show it, but they they imply it with her taking a photo. Like they don't show actually it, but there's no
Right. Oh,
context
and
to
even
like.
when she was starting to take her clothes off for the phone, that was
Oh,
ridiculous.
that
That
was
was
yeah, and then there also the one that I got angry about were the two guys at the two security guards. He just finds out his friend's a pedophile and he's just okay with it. I'm sorry. Like 80 to 90% of fucking dudes have to be not okay with that. I would bash that guy's head in with a flashlight as soon as those little girls left. Like that.
see think that would have made this movie a great movie. See how much of a see if she would have added a minute of him, of that friend just knocking him out or something, just an extra minute, nobody would be talking horrible about Cuties. They would be saying, "Did you see that pedophile get knocked out in Cuties?" For sexualizing kids. Like it would be a whole 180 or 360 of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people are talking
No, no,
about. Just if she would have added a minute of that, and also another minute of her getting taught more, by her, or caught and taught more.
well, and I
Like
think
the whole condom in the
they
mouth
like
thing.
the
The kid
condom
should have
in
been
mouth.
caught and taught.
Well, and then
And the
also like
WAP.
there's good characters that they
Stopped
just
and
they did
taught.
they did not focus good on, like the older aunt that was like trying to teach her like really legit shit, like how to cook and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They just That's just like an afterthought, and those were the best characters in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah, facts.
I like you said, context is important, and there's none in it. There's no lesson learned. I don't think anyone don't watch it. It's honestly it's gross. There's nothing you will learn from it. You'll just be angry like I am right now, ranting. It's I completely get why everyone's mad. I completely get it. But I'm also mad now that I know that there's all that shit all over TikTok. I mean, I'm not saying that they're maybe I don't know. Are they to literally the extreme that are in that movie?
There's all, I mean, like I
Yeah,
said,
you
there's
have the
everything
pauses
on
enough
that
to
app.
say anything. Yeah, that's just ugh.
There's everything on that app. I can't even single anything out. Everything is on that app. Anything that you can think of is on there.
I'm sorry, parents. I'm sorry you guys have to fight this. I don't know how you keep your kids from
I
uploading
think,
that stuff.
yeah, I think that, it's all about what the parents let your kids and don't do, and pay attention. So that way you can catch them if something is going on that shouldn't be. But I think we'll end it on that. I suggest not watching it. You heard it here, our opinions and what we think. So thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, Banana Cats.
Banana cats. Much love. Peace.